Hey everyone, I'm your host, Chanel Omari. We're here at Cubico Studios in New York City for another episode of Chanel in the City. And we're here with a very special guest. He's one of my favorite recording artists of all time. I'm a big fan. He's had hits like Turn Me On and Last Drop, and he's here to promote his new single, which I'm obsessed with, Close to You. Please welcome my good friend, the artiste, Kevin Lyttle.
Thank you. That's a very nice introduction.
Talk to us about this new song, Close to You, which is a hit.
Let me get right close to you, close to you. Let me get right close to you.
The producer of the record, I was scheduled different producers, and this particular producer, Static, he by chance got scheduled in, and I didn't even know that I knew him from a long time ago. He's actually from my country. And he's living in Trinidad. He's very successful, making records with all the other Caribbean artists. You know, right now he has the Road March in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, not the Road March, a Soca Monarch record for Soca. And when I saw him and we started talking, I was like, oh my God, wait. Some years ago, I've been trying to work with you. We talked, you know, and then he played the record for me, and I was like, yo, don't change nothing. I'm gonna sing it just the way it is.
Just the way it is.
You know? And when we got to the second verse, it was like, he didn't have a second verse. And I said, yo, well, let me put my writing skills in, and I wrote the second verse for the song. The song, if you listen, has some hints in the chords, like the chord structure has that reminder of that, baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose.
Right,
Yeah,
yes, I heard that.
It has the same chords, but not the melody. So it's
the melody is more dancing.
Yes.
And would you say it's Caribbean reggae? What would you say the genre is?
My music is soca pop. It's like pop soca, but it is soca.
Right.
It is soca. What happens now is that you find now a lot of the international cats from America and from different places in the world in dance music. They're taking the same formula I did with Turn Me On, and they're calling it tropical house and all these kind of things. Right. But it's soca.
How did you get into music? What made you want to become a songwriter and an artist?
Actually was, very well nurtured in terms of protected. I was the only child, very nurtured, very protected, and all I had was the little transistor radio that my mom bought in the house playing music every morning. And I would be mimicking everybody. And then when I got old, I discovered, I have this nice singing voice. And when I sang, people were like, whoa, he's got a nice voice. And it worked for me. I got into dancing with my uncles and stuff like that in performing arts groups in school and all this kind of stuff too. And at a young age, I was a very good writer. In school, I would get a lot of high marks for essays and compositions and writing stories and stuff like that. That was my strong point in school. Right. So, transition to songwriting. It wasn't something that I went to a workshop or anything to learn. I just picked it up from my regular writing every day.
Talk to me a little bit about what goes into the writing process. Like, are you inspired by things in life? Your life?
Yeah, the thing is, to be honest with you, it's spur of the moment with me. And sometimes you go in the studio like with this brand new single, and the producer has a great idea. And that's where, Kevin Lyttle and Static Close to You is all about. Static is the producer of the record, but you listen to the record, he's not just a great musical producer, he's a singer. He sang all those vocals that way, even the lead vocal, and I went in and re-sang it the way that he demoed it for me. And I said, leave all your back vocals in. I just added some of mine to give it texture so that it blended with mine better. But this kid is an awesome producer. But then when it comes to writing songs, it could be off the cuff. I could say, hey, I'm here with Chanel in the city right now, and we're having some real fun.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah,
you pay for the theme song, but that's sick.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
Yeah, the thing is that
so it's a mix of you and the producer, but also sometimes just you.
Yeah, just me. Singing is something that you can't think too much. And when it comes to the lyrical content, a lot of the time you just have to let the environment influence you and just flow with the energy of it. It's almost like dancing. You just go, you throw your hand here, you throw your foot there, your vocals, you throw it there, you throw it there, you use this word there, that word there, until you find the right sentence. You find the right poetic lines to put together to make it interesting. You know,
so it's about like not taking it too seriously.
Exactly, that too.
How do you maintain your rights to protect yourself, where people don't steal music from you, where you're credited the right way and respected?
It's very difficult. Because right now, listen to this. Pull me closer, why don't you pull me closer? Why don't you hold me close? In the middle. Now listen to this. Let me hold you, go caress my body. You got me going crazy. So that was Zed and Mary
The
Morris.
middle, right? When I heard Mary Morrison Zed, I swear, and I was at the radio station at the time introducing the song, I said, this reminds me of Kevin Little's Turn Me On.
No, you see, it would not have been a problem if they had reached out to me and said, hey Kevin, yo, can we, do something with this?
Right.
I would have been like, hey, it's no problem. Because even with the Chris Brown was just simply an email, bam, 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 we talked, my management talked, we fixed it up, and it was gone. It was a 2-day process, not even.
That's cool.
Cheat Codes was the same way. But when artists do stuff like this, because look, I came with Turn Me On. A lot of people don't know this. Turn Me On is an interpolation.
You go caress my body. You got me going crazy. You turn me on, turn me on.
And the melodies of Turn Me On comes from a song from 112. So there's other writers that have a small percentage of the song. Because really and truly, when it's an interpolation, I rewrote the song and created something new out of it. So my thing was, I'm not stealing from nobody. When the song became so big and started making money, I was like, yo, we gotta make sure that we go, whatever publishing, whatever we do, we make sure that 112 and whoever wrote that song gets their writing. Because me, I believe in karma.
Right.
So that's why today I'm still so protected, because I protected the other people whose musical genius contributed to me creating this worldwide hit. Right.
So you've had obstacles. Talk to us a little bit about like some of the obstacles and struggles you had to overcome, and then how do you maintain this success?
Well, the thing is, I even when I just had Turn Me On as the international hit, I've had other hits in the Caribbean, a lot of other hits that did well for me. So I would perform everywhere in the world that they call me, and I would, even though there's nothing on the charts, the clubbers are seeing me.
Right.
And that basically kept Turning Me On in the clubs, kept my performance royalties coming, keeps me in people's faces. People always remember Kevin Lyttle, because when you're not seeing me, somebody's seeing me in Germany. When you're not seeing me, somebody's seeing me in Canada. Somebody's seeing me in South America or somewhere else in the Caribbean, or catch me in Marbella, catch me in Kuala Lumpur, catch me off some little islands in Australia, catch me in Australia.
I love Australia. That's
I'm constantly on the move and keeping myself relevant, and that's what you have to do as an artist. It's how you build a record. You have to go out there and perform it. So in order to maintain your career, you have to go out there and keep performing. All my songs generate money for me. Songs that you don't even know.
So talk to me about how, and I love how you're so open-minded with social media, because you do come from old school.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how it's helped or hurt you with this new age of digital media. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Does it help you as an artist? Is it not?
It was difficult for me at first. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah, talk to us.
It was really difficult for me because I came out when social media had just started with MySpace. And even when it had just started, MySpace is an American thing. And Caribbean music is always looked at as a niche thing, and unless you have a record that breaks through, you're not necessarily going to get the mainstream right away with you. It took me 3 years to push Turn Me On. So when MySpace was big and all of that, I was still trying to be heard even and understand social media because it just started. And we weren't too, in those days, you weren't too much wanting your business all over something that everybody could go publicly and see everything you're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
it was worse back in those days when you were going to clubs and stuff like that. You're right, you didn't want that on paparazzi.
Right. But then back in like 2008 and so when like, YouTube and all these things really started getting crazy and all these new social media, Facebook was so big and all that. My wife started drilling at me. She started going at me and I was like, man, I don't want to do this. But she kept at me and I was like, finally, okay, all right, I'm gonna jump on. I started.
And you gotta have an amazing wife. Let's change yours.
Yes, of course.
I'm a partner, because I love your wife. Let's talk about you guys two, relationship-wise, how you met and how you balance a healthy relationship in such a fast-paced industry.
Well, it helps in my industry. It helps to have a wife that's not jealous, like crazy jealous. She helps me with my stage performance with music videos. She picks the prettiest girls. If girls jump up on stage with me, it's not a problem. It's not I'm doing my job.
She holds you down.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I like that.
And the thing is too, it also helps to have somebody. I'm not a religious person. But there's some things like being evenly yoked. And when I say evenly yoked, not in the way that the Bible exactly says it, where you have to be a Christian and a Christian to be married. What I think it is that there must be a balance in your economical approach. If that's a right way to put it.
Smart.
My wife works. She makes her own 6 figures on her own.
Nice, kind of woman.
She makes her own money and she adds to my wealth. She is not 1 and 0. It's not a woman who's just sitting down in the house and waiting for me to give her money to go shopping. She has her own money. She has her own cars that she goes to her stores and buy. I pay her a salary as a manager from everything that I earn the same way as I was doing with my manager before.
That's amazing.
Mind you, it comes against her 50% that she gets if anything happens in this good part. She was getting 20 already.
Right.
She can only take 30 when she's done.
That's amazing. You're like, now you can't leave me because you gotta think about the money. How long have you guys been together?
Well, we've known each other since we were like 14 years old.
Get out.
Yeah, she went to the best high school, the girls' high school of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I went to the boys' grammar school, which is the best high school for boys.
So can you give us advice for our audience? What does it take to attract the right person and any dating tips for us women to attract an amazing man? How do we get the relationship like Kevin Lyttle and Jackie Lyttle?
And I think that everything in this world works on the merit of you have to surround yourself with what you want. I wanted to be a singer. Every time there was a major concert in St. Vincent, I was backstage. I was in the crowd. I was watching Boujou. I was watching Barris. I was watching Barrington Levy. I was with the promoters. I got to know the promoters. I got to know the bands. I got to know everybody who was in the industry of what I wanted to be in. So it works the same way with everything else. You want to have a good man, you have to rub shoulders with people that have a good man, that have a good relationship, and find out what it is and be in situations with them so those situations rub off on you and you create those situations for yourself. You hang in the places they hang. You talk the way they talk. You learn from them. And that brings the universe to you with the things that you want. Get close to you, or get close to somebody who you admire. Get close to people who are like that person,
So that's the message. So the main message you would say behind close to you is really getting close to the right people.
Yeah.
That's important.
Getting close to that person you love. And it could be that person you love that has the qualities of somebody else you love, so that you can get somebody like that you love.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for being here.
All right.
Make sure you check out Kevin's new song, Close to You, on all social media platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, and make sure you follow him at Kevin Lyttle and click on the link in the bio. The music video is out today. Swipe up.
Yeah.